Welcome to our podcast, Inspiring Living, with me, Mark Candelaria. I am an architect, blogger, traveler, chef, father, and husband. I am the founder and now partner of a fabulous 20-person architecture firm specializing in high-end residential architecture, designing amazing homes across the country. We have hosted tours over the last 20 years to Italy, Spain, and soon Napa. And in the course of all this, I have met a lot of interesting people who truly inspire me. We are excited to now be in our second season, and our podcast is about all the opportunities that are right there in front of us to inspire living. Yes, we will talk about architecture and design, but every week we will venture to all sorts of topics that will inspire you, teach you, and motivate you to inspire living every day. My guests will include a wide gamut of amazing people, from those in the design industry to clients to real estate professionals, chefs, artists, sports figures, and philanthropists, and people who just flat out get it. So sit back and enjoy, and let's have some fun exploring all the opportunities that are there just waiting for us. Please subscribe and get ready to be inspired every week. Okay, as my dad says, here we go. Because Inspiring Living is all about the people and the organizations that inspire us, we are excited to have Monogram Appliances as one of our sponsors. Anytime we do a new kitchen or a kitchen remodel, Monogram Appliances are what we recommend to our client. Their appliances are the definition of luxury, meticulously detailed using the finest materials and an ownership experience that is second to none. This is how Monogram is always thinking ahead and inspiring and elevating the kitchen experience. Because at Monogram, they don't just elevate one thing, they elevate everything. Welcome everyone, and thanks again for listening to our podcast, Inspiring Living. Welcome to Season 2, and today I have a very fun podcast featuring Jessica Pierce, who is the founder and CEO of Career Connectors, a 501c3 nonprofit whose mission is to empower career seekers and organizations to success by connecting them with high-caliber coaching, market insights, and career transitioning. Well, given the events of this year, there have been plenty of people who either have lost their jobs or are seeking new jobs in new places, many in fact coming right here to Arizona. Jessica is energetic, articulate, and very insightful, and I know you will find her podcast and information interesting and very relevant. We've in fact hired 3 people since the COVID lockdown back in March, and we are looking for more. So give me a direct message, fire me an email. We are definitely looking to hire some more highly qualified architects. We want the best on our team, so definitely reach out. We are now zooming through October, and our Candelaria design team is now in week 32 of working from home. Yep, we are still doing it. We're able to do it, and with the cases starting to rise again, I think we'll probably be doing more working from home. So we're getting ready for winter. Here we go. I want to say a big thank you for all the birthday wishes and birthday goodies. It was amazing, you guys. I got some many great things, including this counter Traeger device that I can smoke things, plug it in, take it with me. So get ready. We're going to be doing ribs and all kinds of goodies wherever we go now. So that Traeger will be following me probably in my car wherever I go. So we'll have some fun there. Despite not being able to go to Italy and celebrate at Lake Como, we did end up having a fantastic birthday. And so once again, thank you to everybody. Just a few announcements. We have a stunning Candelaria design Mediterranean home in this month's Lux magazine with interiors by Mara Green, landscaped by Refined Gardens, and all masterfully built by our good friends over at Argue Custom Homes. So check that out. And more to come in the coming months in Lux magazine, including the cover feature in their upcoming 15-year anniversary issue. We are very excited to adorn the cover, and I think it's really cool that we adorned their first cover back in 2006, and here we are, 15 years later. So it's pretty exciting. We had a fantastic cooking class last Sunday featuring Forest Highlands Master Chef and my good friend Eddie Matney in our Candelaria Design Monogram Kitchen, and he prepared some fabulous appetizers, and our edited video along with recipes are forthcoming on YouTube and Instagram, so stay tuned for that. These dishes were so easy and so fantastic. You will absolutely love them. This week I took a quick trip to the San Juan Islands north of Seattle, where we are starting a new contemporary beach house, and tomorrow I am off to Martha's Vineyard for another project, so we are definitely now coast to coast. So fun stuff there, and follow along on our social media. And you can just virtually travel with me to wherever I'm going. And I'm always going somewhere. I want to give a big thank you to all of you who have been listening to our podcast as our listeners keep growing nicely. Thank you also for the ratings and reviews. I really appreciate those. And here's the deal. The first review we get dated October 17th or later will receive a free Candelaria collection pasta maker. So give us some love on those ratings and reviews. We had a winner last week, so make sure to also send us an email telling us about your review so we can send you that pasta maker. We do our best to inspire living in everything we do, from our podcast to our cooking classes to our tours, and of course, with our Candelaria design homes. Okay, have a great week, everyone. Stay safe, and let's all live our lives with love, compassion, grace, and positivity. Okay, here we go. Our guest today is Jessica Pierce, founder and CEO of Career Connectors, a 501c3 nonprofit whose mission is to empower career seekers and organizations to succeed by connecting them with high-caliber coaching, market insights, and career transitioning. Jessica has been named as one of the Phoenix's 40 under 40, received the Arizona Foothills Women Who Move the Valley Award, and was a nominee for the Phoenix Chamber of Commerce's Athena Awards. She has spoken in the White House along with a handful of local and national news outlets. So hopefully you didn't speak in the White House in the last week or so, right?
No,
no. Okay, so you're in good shape. We've got a pretty good social distance here, and we're recording today in our offices here at Candelaria Design, so it's nice and comfy, right?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, so welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It took us a while to connect, but we did connect. We are Career Connectors, right?
Yes.
Yes. So tell us about Career Connectors and their approach to helping people get back to work, which I just think this is such a fascinating topic right now with what's going on with the economy, what's going on with the migration to Arizona. So we'll cover all those things, but pretty interesting, just a little conversation we were having when you walked in here. So I'm really interested to hear about this. So how are you helping people get back to work?
Yeah, so it's funny because we started this program in the recession 12 years ago. So what we do is we run programs, and we went from an in-person format to a virtual format for right now. I imagine our in-person format will come back around eventually. But we run programs for 2 to 3 times a month where we bring in high-quality motivational keynote speakers that have just a lot of great, rich content. So we predominantly serve professionals that are in career transition. So they've been laid off, they've left their career, they're doing a career change, and many times it's people that have never had to look for a job before, and they're like, "What is this about?" And so we're helping people really give them some hope, give them some direction, and we do that through our keynotes as well as some coaching programs that we have. And then also we bring in 3 to 4 hiring companies to every single event that are actively hiring. So they're engaging with the people in the program.
Gotcha. So I just want to make sure I understand. So you do career events, right?
Yes.
And then you're also a place that I can go to if I'm seeking a job and looking for a career change.
Yes.
I would contact you, and then you would offer all types of different services to help me find my new spot.
That's right, yeah.
Interesting. So one question I have is, in terms of the people you see, is it all ages? Is it like from 18? Because I have an 18-year-old daughter who's currently looking for a job.
Absolutely.
All the way to, let's just say, 70-year-old senior citizens.
Yes, absolutely.
So the whole gamut.
The whole gamut. Our niche tends to be people that are wanting to be in a more professional position. And a lot of that includes college students, recent college graduates, all the way to people that have been working for 30, 40, 50 years. And they're like, I'm not done yet.
Right.
I have a lot of work still to do.
Yeah.
And so we are serving the entire demographic.
So how long have you been doing this now?
So I launched it in 2009.
2009,
yeah,
okay.
So
right?
11 years.
Which was also a crazy time.
That's right. Right.
Everyone had been laid off, or there was no work, and
it was.
We were just kind of rebuilding the economy again.
The recession was different than what we're going through right now, but it still feels the same to people that are going through career transition.
Yeah.
And so, that story, my husband and I had to shut down a business, and he was laid off, and we had never been in that situation before, living in basically our dream house, 3 kids, and then it kind of sounds like a sad country song, actually.
Yeah, well, I was in that same country song, so I know it quite well, unfortunately.
Yes. So all of that happened, and then I'm looking around one day as we're trying to figure out what to do, and I'm like, so many of my friends are getting laid off that are smart professionals, and have never dealt with this before.
Right.
And I thought, well, I at least know staffing, recruiting, resumes, and I can help. And so that's how I started it. I just went to my local church and said, "Can I have a room?" And they said yes.
And it just started from there.
It started. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome to see that kind of roll and happen quickly.
Yeah.
But
it's all been here in Arizona.
Yeah. So
are you from Arizona?
I'm originally from Ohio.
Okay.
But I've been in Arizona for 23 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
so quite a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, the 2008, 2009 was definitely some tough times, especially in our industry.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like the lights went out overnight. Virtually.
In fact, my clients, my small business, I was a staffing firm. Our clients were in land development and commercial real estate. And I'll never forget May 2009, they walk in and they said, literally the lights are out today.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
It was a light switch moment.
Yep. And I was expecting the same thing this year with the COVID. I mean, only because you're kind of a rescue animal at that point, and something happens, you just automatically go into rescue mode.
Right.
Right. And so we were kind of planning for the worst, and the complete opposite happened.
Wow.
And you were talking to me a little earlier about how many people from different parts of the country are now moving to Arizona because they can Zoom. I mean, they don't have to physically be in Ohio or Chicago to work, right?
Yeah, and so many people that I've talked to, and because our program is now virtual, we're getting people from all over the United States. But because, and many of the people on the line are people trying to get here, trying to get jobs here, or have a virtual job. But employers have loosened the reins and said, you can work from anywhere. This has worked. And people are flocking to Arizona right now because why wouldn't you want to live here?
Right. I mean, totally. I mean, it's been a hot summer, but we know the good time is right around the corner now. I mean, once October comes, we're like, okay, we're there now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you started this company, and it's obviously has it grown quite a bit since 2009?
Yeah. So I actually started as a volunteer program.
Okay.
And then about 3 months in, we were having events where about 25, 30 people were coming. And about 3 months in, I got a call, and there was a line around the church, and they said, you need to get here, and 250 people showed up that night.
Holy cow.
And I'll never forget the guy that was standing there, one of the hiring companies. He was with the census of the 2010 census, and he stood up front and he said, I can hire all of you today. And I just thought, what is happening? And so that we were like, okay, this is a thing. We need to make this into a nonprofit organization and help people at no cost.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you still are
we are. It's
nonprofit.
All free, nonprofit. We've helped over 40,000 people in the last 11 years, and it's been a joy to be able to do that.
No, I can see your enthusiasm on your face. I love that when I see that in people. You just know that you're doing something you're passionate about and you care about, and that obviously then transcends into the people that you're trying to help.
Yeah, you hope so, because they tell us like they'll catch our hope, or they'll feel it. Especially right now in COVID, so many people are just locked in their homes.
Right.
And they don't know who to talk to or where to go. There's not big networking events to go to, and so we're trying to do that in a virtual format.
That's awesome. So now let's learn a little bit about you personally. I read you have a professional background in organizational development techniques, career coaching, DISC behavioral assessment, which we've all done in this company, which is very, very fascinating.
Yeah.
Pre-employment assessments, outplacement services and hiring, and you are a public speaker, trainer, and career transition expert. You're a busy gal. So do you have a family?
I do. I have a husband, and 3 kids. My boy is 21 in college, and then my girls are 12 and 13.
Oh, okay. So you get those fun 12 and 13 years ahead of you.
I do. Middle school fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Good luck. So anyway, all this stuff with the DISC behavioral assessment. I mean, when people come in, how much of those type of things do you do in order to assess who's coming in and how you're going to match them up?
Yeah. So with Career Connectors, all of our candidates, anyone who's interested in looking for a job, we have a partnership with a company that allows everyone to take the DISC assessment at no cost.
Cool.
It's normally $99. It's free for these people that are going through career transition, so they can learn so much about themselves.
Yeah.
And so we use that all the time. We do talks on it and how to utilize it in your career search.
How many people do you think have a false assessment of themselves?
Oh, many.
Does that happen a lot?
I think there's many different types of assessments.
Yeah.
And we often hear, specifically with this one, it was right on, but I didn't realize this part or that part. And sometimes people are like, it's not right at all.
Right.
And so we'll go, I want you to go ask your spouse what they think about this. And most of the time they'll come back and go, yeah, it's right.
That's exactly what they've been trying to tell me for all these years.
That's right.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's interesting because obviously I've been involved both in finding a job for myself at one point, a long time ago, but I also interview, a lot of candidates for positions in our company.
Yes.
And over the years, I've really transitioned what is important to me when I interview somebody and when I want to hire somebody. And it's not so much the skills, although the skills are important. They need to have the skills to do the job. But what I'm finding is so much more important is how do they fit into our culture?
Yes.
And do they have the same values that our members of our company all share?
Right.
And if they don't, I don't care how good their skill set is. They're just not gonna. It's not gonna last. It's not gonna work.
That's right. There's so often people will come and say, I'm a match for this job description.
Right.
And I'm an exact match. This is my job.
Right.
And they won't get the job. And if you don't have the chemistry
Right.
with that company, if you don't have the culture match with that company, it doesn't matter how perfect you are for that job.
Right.
There's no reason for them to hire you if it's not a match that way.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
Yeah. And what I've learned too is that a lot of times. Like I said, it's more important almost to find those attributes of the culture and the personality and the values. I can teach them the skills,
Yes.
but I can't teach them the other things.
That's right.
That they either have that or they don't. It's
Yep.
like an athlete with speed.
Yes,
I can
that's
teach you
right.
all the techniques and the patterns that you need to run, but if you run slow, it doesn't matter how good
Yes.
you run the pattern.
Correct.
It's not going to work.
And that's so true. And I wish more companies hired based on culture.
Yeah.
Because their tenure at the company would be a lot longer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny because we put in a full kitchen here at our office. And what's kind of fun is I now realize how many of my employees do cook and love to cook. And then even some of my new candidates, we just hired a gentleman from Spokane, and one of the attributes that he had is he loves to bake.
Oh.
And so we've already had him make a couple of loaves of bread, and obviously he's doing a lot of CAD work and design work too. But
Yeah.
his bread's pretty darn good.
I was going to say, a lot of people would want to hire him based off of that.
Yeah, so I think that is a real important thing that I think a lot of candidates don't realize.
Yeah.
They put the focus on the skill set, but they don't put the focus in who they are and what makes them tick and all those things. So
That's right. We always encourage people to really search up the company through LinkedIn, through their website, if you can
Right.
get a connection with somebody that works there or did work there,
yeah,
to get the feel of the culture
Yeah.
before you go in.
yeah, I think that's a big deal. And I think more companies are starting to realize that.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So tell us about your experience with volunteering, because that is a real important thing to our entire company is volunteering, and how it has impacted you and your outlook on life.
Yeah, so I've been volunteering for many years. Career Connector started because of, I just raised my hand.
Right.
I saw a need and wanted to help. But what has been so life-changing to me is all of the other volunteers that have surrounded me
Yep.
and our team. We have 125 volunteers that serve every year. We could not do this program without them. And I've seen the tears. I've seen people just incredibly grateful and thankful for our services. They didn't know where to go. They were lost.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for these volunteers, this program would not be here.
Yeah.
So it's incredibly impactful. People are changing lives, even if they don't see the results in the moment.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm on the board of Habitat for Humanity,
Yes.
and it's such a great organization. And some of the things that we're trying to do is, get volunteers to learn skills that then give them the skills to get jobs.
Yes.
And so I'm really interested in connecting some of our people in Habitat with you.
Great.
Because there's definitely some opportunities there I can see just based on what I've learned about you.
Well, I had a quick story. We had a lady that came to one of our events, and she said she was a business analyst, and she said, I think with your events, you should write a blog about them.
Yeah.
Maybe you do event recap. And I'm like, great, you want to do that for us? And she's like, okay, I kind of like to write. So she's writing our blogs for a month or two, and she goes, I love this. I want to do this for people.
Yeah.
She ended up launching her blogging social media business. Now it's been 10 years and thriving. She runs her own business, has a full case of clients, and this is what she does. She never has to go be a business analyst again.
Isn't that amazing?
No, and that was because she just said, you need to do this, and I said, go ahead.
A task came up, and you
Yes.
plugged her in, and off she
Yes.
went.
People need to look for those opportunities.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's what I love about getting involved in in charities and volunteer thing. I think a lot of people don't realize the benefits beyond helping other people. It's just there's so many opportunities to connect with people.
Yeah.
And you just never know what comes of it. I mean, I've seen people meet their future spouse at charity events and volunteer projects, and it's just a great way. I think a lot of people get stuck complaining or sitting around on the couch like, oh, I can't find a job, blah blah blah. Well, while you're waiting, there's a lot of great ways to fill that time that will likely get you that job.
That's right. Because networking is so huge. I mean, we talk about it all the time. That's what we were basically launched on, is networking, and people hate that word. But if you are going to go to volunteer, you're networking by default. You're doing something all of you care about.
Right.
And that immediately connects you.
That's exactly right. So tell us more about some of the opportunities to help out. I mean, there's a lot of different ways, right?
Yeah. So we have LinkedIn coaches. We have bloggers. We have people that help run our events, whether they're virtual or in person. Really, social media. So there's various different events or offerings that we have for people to help all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of job opportunities out there, aren't there?
There are so many. 214,000 in the Arizona.
Yeah. So to not be able to find a job, there's another reason why you're not finding a job.
Well, yes, there's a reason. It depends what your situation is, of course.
Everyone has a different situation.
Everyone has a different. But you can get a job.
Right.
You can get a job. We can help you. We can show you. We can guide you. Even if we show you, you still have to do the push-ups and get the job.
Exactly.
But there are so many jobs out there. Companies are hiring. Many companies can't find talent right now. So the jobs are out there.
It's hard to find good people.
It is hard to find good people. And if you can connect with a company based on culture and values,
Yep.
that is just even better. Pick up the phone. Start calling some friends. Let people know you're looking for a job.
Right. So when COVID hit in March, I mean, millions lost their job, right?
Right away, millions.
And so did you see the influx of people looking like immediately?
Yes. Immediately.
And
it was a different demographic than 2008 and 9.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things because it was service industry, right? So travel, retail, that kind of stuff. So it's a different demographic, which is awful because these are people that need the weekly paycheck.
Right.
Not that we don't all need the weekly paycheck,
No,
but it was really hard and it still is really hard on many people. So here's the thing. If you were in that industry and you don't have a job, find another industry.
Right.
You can do more. You can get trained. There are programs out there. There's so many options.
Right.
And you actually can find a whole new career that's maybe even better and gives you a career path that you never thought of. Well, it gives you
some diversification and skills. So when something goes down, I can do this.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's so. How much have you seen? Because I hear a huge debate on this all the time. It's actually happening in Congress right now again with the new stimulus that they're trying to do. Do you think the stimulus did? What's the word I'm looking for? Not inspire. Did it motivate people not to go back to work?
Yeah, I think for sure.
Yeah.
That's my
your opinion,
not fact.
Yeah,
this is totally my opinion. But I also think there were other issues. Like, of course, people were nervous because of COVID. People are homeschooling their kids essentially because they can't get their kids back in school.
Right.
So there's some other extenuating circumstances. So it can't be across the board.
Right.
But yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at furniture or retail. You can't get things shipped right now because everything's out. Well, you're an architect, No, I know. There's a backlog on everything.
There's a backlog on everything.
Yes, and so people need to get back to work. I think the stimulus, they had to do something.
Right. No, and I agree.
Wasn't a choice.
I think it was maybe they went too far.
Possibly.
And incentivized people to stay home. That's the word I'm looking for.
I agree. There's some truth to that. Yes.
Yeah. So, and I think I don't know exactly the way they could have done it or should have done it, but I think they should have created some type of incentive to come see you. It's like if you just get out there and volunteer, or if you do that, you get an extra credit.
True.
If you can prove that you were volunteering, or just something like that got people out there.
Yeah.
But I guess that was the whole point. They didn't want people out there.
They didn't. They wanted you to stay home.
They wanted you to stay home.
And people were making a lot more money on unemployment than they were working.
Right.
So why
go out?
Why go try and find a job?
Right.
So, yeah.
So you did see that.
For sure we saw that.
Yeah. So do you see that changing?
I think so because the stimulus packages have
stopped.
changed.
Yep.
So we went from 600 additional, then we went to 300 additional, and now we're at just Arizona unemployment, which maxes at $240 a week.
Okay.
There will be a stimulus package, I imagine.
Yeah, I think so too.
We don't know what that is. If I were a guessing lady, I'd say $200 to $300 a week additional for maybe 13 weeks or something like that.
Right.
Or maybe they're going to have something where you have to show
Right.
there's a reason you're not working.
Right.
Which
incentivize you to get out there and
they
get a
had
job.
taken away all requirements. Like you normally have to prove you're looking for a job.
Right.
You normally have a waiting period. Those are all removed right now.
Interesting.
So I would imagine some of that would come back.
Yeah. So one of the things that you were talking about when you came in that I found real fascinating is, there is the ability for people back east or California or wherever to virtually work wherever they want to work.
Yeah.
And people are taking advantage of that.
They are.
And they're coming here.
Yeah, we're getting an influx right now.
Big influx,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we see it on our end.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it on your end.
That's right.
And so where are they all coming from?
Well, if you look at the data in general from, we only have numbers from 2019 and before, true numbers of who's coming in, but that told us California and Chicago were the two main areas that people were coming from.
Any part in California? More northern or southern?
No,
or the whole
I don't.
state?
Yeah. People just importing from California.
Yep.
I don't have specific cities there, but those were like the areas people were coming from.
Right.
What we're seeing now is we're seeing some stuff from the Northwest, so the Portland area, Washington State, and then a lot of other cities in the Midwest too, states in the Midwest. So people are cold and they don't want to be cold anymore.
Man, I'm going to Arizona.
Right.
I can zoom from there as easy as I can zoom
work
from here.
home. That's right.
Interesting.
And
so all ages, or is it mostly young people that are doing the Zoom thing?
No, it's all ages.
It's all ages.
Yeah, the people that are coming, families are coming.
Wow.
So especially, I mean, if you're all virtual with everything, if schools are shut down, and your job lets you work from home, what's the incentive to stay there if a family had moved for their job and no longer have to be there?
Yep. Come to Arizona.
Yeah, come where, it's a great place to live, work, and play.
Yep. So do you see a lot of different types of jobs, high-tech jobs, service jobs, or just, again, across the board?
Of what's in Arizona right now?
Yeah, what's coming to Arizona? What's available in Arizona?
Well,
Let's put it that way.
so we have some industries that are really hot. So we have finance and insurance, really hot industry. Call centers, we are a call center mecca. People don't love that, but it's a great way to start a fantastic career. I am telling all these retail people, get into the call center, work the call centers, the phones for a year or two, learn it, and have your career pathway established.
Interesting.
I have so many people from like a State Farm that have been there 30 years that started on the phones.
Yeah, with the red sweater and the khaki pants, right?
Yes. So those are two big industries. We also have tech.
Yep.
So there is tech growing here. We can't find enough tech talent.
Interesting.
So if we have tech people across the country that are moving here, they're going to get grabbed in a second. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a big need. So those are all three big industries. We have healthcare, of course.
Yeah.
Is big here.
Yeah, and like I said, we've hired 3 people this summer, and we're still looking.
Yeah.
So,
the construction industry, anything to do with the construction, and also high-end manufacturing.
Interesting.
Those are the biggest.
I know on the construction side, all of my builders are having a hard time finding qualified people.
Yeah.
And it's such a process to train people. I mean, in that industry, it takes a long time.
It does.
And a lot of the people that I've been working with over the years, they're all getting older, and they all want to retire, and there's no one to replace, what they did.
Yeah.
Especially the real fine craftsmen like cabinetry and painters and finishers and and so you see those prices for those trades going up higher and higher, and fewer people are then using those trades because of the cost.
Yeah.
So everything's starting to look very vanilla.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Like, well, if no one can do any of these beautiful things, well, then it's just going to be a drywall box.
Yeah.
And so we're seeing unfortunately, a lot of drywall boxes out there.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that interesting how that all relates? So the opportunities, I guess, that I see then in our industry are for people that can get some of those trades and some of those skills.
The trades, man, people can make so much money in trades. And I think, with the generation of people having kids now or having kids that are older.
Yeah.
So I'm in my 40s, and so we have kids that are in college, and you're thinking, go to college, go to college, go to college.
That was my next subject.
Yeah, go to college. But what people need to know is not everybody needs to go to college, and they're not meant to go to college.
No.
So what are the trade opportunities out there? That is
huge.
They're huge. some parents think that is it a failure that my kid didn't go to college? Absolutely not.
I think it's
Get
just the
them on a
opposite.
trade. Absolutely.
That's what I
They're
think.
high need, high dollar amounts.
Yep.
They make great money.
I tell people my stucco sub drives 2 or 3 Lamborghinis.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, he owns up like 4 or 5 restaurants.
Yeah.
That he owns on the side from investments from all his stucco work.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So it's I know it's hard work, but everything's pretty much hard work.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I am a big proponent of people bypassing the whole college thing. I think a lot of kids and families are getting ripped off by it, to be honest. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that where you need that, fine. But if you're going to be a chef, maybe go to cooking school. But you don't have to go to college for 6 years and get your master's degree.
Don't go in debt. This is my personal opinion.
That's exactly right.
Do not go in debt to go to college. Work, save, and it can take you 6 or 8 years. Who cares? Go to community college for 2 or 3 years before doing your last year or 2.
Totally.
Like, don't go in debt. We have been ruined by people going into debt, and those are our choices.
Yeah.
People have made the choice to go into debt. Do not do that.
Yeah, because when you do get laid off and you got that debt, that is not fun.
No, and that debt does not go away.
Doesn't go away. No,
not.
that's exactly right. So, I'm a big proponent of that too. I think a lot of kids, the transition from high school to college shouldn't be 3 months.
Yeah.
I think it should be maybe 3 years.
Yeah. Some countries take gap years. Israel, they take a gap year.
Yeah.
Before they travel, and then they go to the service, and so they're like 3 or 4 years out.
And work a little bit. See what a dollar really buys you.
That's
and how hard it is to earn, and then go to college.
That's right.
So otherwise, the college, the first 3 years, is nothing but a country club that you're going in debt for.
Yeah. And if you're going into debt, it does not make sense.
Right. So let's see here. Where else have we covered? I see you post Arizona unemployment updates every few weeks. So tell us how your system kind of works.
Yeah, so we're just tied into a lot of economic development and workforce data and information, and so we keep on top of that. And so because we've gone virtual, the way we're getting our information to people and being able to help them is through our events, which happen a couple times a month, but we're also doing small videos, 3 to 5 minute. A lot of it has been unemployment updates, but has been job searching also. And then we also do community updates, interviews. So we have an interview this Friday morning, and it's going to be about forbearance, mortgages, and rental assistance, because people are going to lose their homes.
So there's so much more than just getting a job. It's like dealing with all the issues that you're dealing with because you don't have a job.
Yeah, so we're trying to provide a whole bunch of information different ways so people can get help.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So in addition to the many resources you offer to those who have just lost their jobs, you also assist in companies with downsizing.
Yeah, so when companies are laying off, we try to come in and help people with their resumes through coaching, connect to companies that are in Arizona and hiring. And so it's a service that we also provide. And a lot of those outplacement services actually fund the programs to help people get jobs.
Interesting. Yeah. So like, for instance, if I'm looking again for another architect, I would give you a call, Jessica, and I would say, we're looking for this, here's the description.
Yeah, so
tell us how the process
works. So the companies that are hiring, we invite them out to speak at our events and to also post their jobs in our LinkedIn group. So so we're connecting them. Candidates are on the line for the call, so they're right there.
Oh,
and then we advertise the companies that are hiring through our databases, through social media. And so we're not a staffing firm, because a lot of companies think we're a staffing firm. We're not. We feature companies, we promote them, but we don't do the work to match them. But we'll talk about their jobs and bring them out to speak.
Interesting. So in terms of me as an employer, is there a cost to me?
Nope. Not to speak. Occasionally, we do have partnerships with companies that are hiring a lot. And so they will come in and decide they want to be a partner with us. Okay. And then there's a fee to do that. And to come out every month to speak, or we have big career events. We have a diversity event coming up.
So that would be like for an Intel or something like that.
Yep.
But like a small guy like me, it probably is a little different situation.
Yeah, you would just want to post your jobs in our group or come and speak occasionally if you have jobs open.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's great. And then it's not like a headhunter thing where I pay you a fee for that person, or
nope, we're not a staffing firm at any
so that's what
nothing.
You call a staffing
firm.
I'm learning all your lingo here. Well, that's awesome.
But I also want to say because a lot of people are looking for jobs right now that have never looked for a job before.
Right.
Never ever pay a company to get you a job.
Interesting.
Never. So there used to be a model, headhunting.
Yep.
And that's how it would work. That is not the model anymore. And if somebody is doing that, they're not very ethical, I would say.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
There's plenty of them out there.
Yes.
We get approached by them all the time.
Yes. But staffing firms are ethical. They're great.
Yeah.
But they should be charging the employers when they help you land somebody.
Right.
Should not be charging the candidate.
The candidate.
That's
Interesting. Right. That makes total sense.
Yep.
So share with our listeners some career advice. As no one is ever too old to reassess their passions and career trajectory. Wow, that's a good question there.
Good question.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So do you get a lot of people that like you said earlier, they come in, they do their assessment, and you said you come back to them saying, have you ever considered doing this? Or we see that you might have a passion for writing a blog or being a writer.
Right.
Or does that happen quite often?
That happens sometimes. We do most of that work through our career coaches.
Okay.
So they work with one-on-one with our career coaches. So that's through that. That's where you get the one-on-one. But I would say in general for advice, the biggest thing, there's so many, but the biggest thing takeaway here is really to connect and talk to people.
Right.
Because the best jobs are not typically even posted. People are, hey, I'm looking. I have this job I'm hiring for. Do you know anyone? And
right.
then,
that dot connects to that
that's
dot.
right. It's like the 6 degrees of separation, and we think
So
that
true.
could be down to 3 degrees now with the way we work.
Yep.
So networking is so important. So if people don't know that you're looking for a job, and if they don't know that, then no one can help you.
Right.
But they also have to know what type of job.
Right.
So if you don't know what type of job you're looking for, and if you tell someone I'll take anything, and I'm
Right.
like, well, okay, McDonald's is hiring, just go down and flip burgers. They're
right.
like, no. Okay, then you won't go for anything. You need to tell us so we can help you.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things that if you can take the time and effort to really hone in what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And use your service to connect those dots.
Yep.
It'll connect pretty quick, I would think.
It usually does. Sometimes, though, people have to understand that if they can't make their passion their job, they can make their passion their volunteer opportunity.
Interesting.
And their job, they are focused on making money there.
Right.
So not always does it line perfectly. If your job, if you want to feed the homeless, I don't know if you're going to make a job as that unless you're in a nonprofit organization.
Right.
But go feed the homeless.
Right.
Because you love it.
Right. Exactly right.
But go find a job with your experience that'll pay the bills so you can go live out your passions.
Yeah, and I've found that you can go feed the homeless and you'll be around some other people that are helping to feed the homeless. And in the course of doing that, a conversation will strike up.
Yes.
They go, oh, hey, you're really good at that one. We've got a company that we're looking for this. Boom.
Now, what if you're in marketing?
Right.
Why don't you do marketing for a nonprofit organization that's feeding the homeless?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's
so
endless spurs and offshoots on all these things. And that's what I think. I think people just don't see that.
Yeah.
And they don't understand it until they look back in the rearview mirror and go, well, that's how I got from point A to point Z.
Yeah.
I took this route that I would have never thought of. But until you get that journey going, you're never going to.
And sometimes you just need someone to push you and say and give you the ideas. I mean, that's networking. That's a conversation. Go talk to your best friends and say, what do you think I'm good at?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where our best ideas come from.
Totally. Now, and it's interesting now. Like I said, I've got an 18-year-old daughter who just finished high school. And she's trying to assess what she wants to do. I don't think college is the ticket for her either. For she's plenty smart enough, but it's just like you said. I just don't think that's the right path for her. She's very creative. She's very smart, and so, I think it'd be interesting to have her do the DISC assessment,
absolutely,
and do some of those things, and just see where she really might plug in.
Yeah, she can just go onto our website with careerconnectors.org, and she can take it, and it doesn't cost anything.
So today, Career Connectors has assisted over 40,000 people, you said, in the Phoenix metro area. Are there other Career Connectors in other cities, or is this just right here?
Just right here.
For now.
So,
you haven't subsidized and turned this into a whole franchise system yet.
No, not yet. We get it all the time. Is there a program like yours? There's a couple around the country, but they're not Career Connectors, but they're kind of similar. There's one in California, and there's one in North Carolina, and that's pretty much, there's one in Jersey, and that's pretty much all we know about. Our model is very unique when it comes to bringing employers and featuring our employers and jobs, and so
that's great. Yeah. That's great. So what are some of the hopes for the coming months and years for Jessica Pierce?
For me, so raise my kids and get them through teenage girls
Yep.
to
That's a big
out of the
job,
house
as I've alluded
eventually. But really, our board has had this vision of going global and
Right.
really serving the whole United States. Well, we didn't know COVID was going to happen. So, but because of COVID, we've kind of been switching to that model. So we are now serving people all around the United States, which has been wonderful.
That's great.
We are, I would say, experts when it comes to Phoenix Metro. That is our place. That's what we know really, really
your
well.
lane.
We do.
Yep.
And so we can connect with employers here. We know what's going on, and we know what kind of jobs are here.
Yeah.
But we're going to keep serving people. We'll go back to in-person events eventually. But we want to be the place where employers think of us, whether they're
Right.
hiring or having to let go of staff. That's our goal, that they think of us first.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Because even if you're letting go, it's like let go to a bucket where they can put you back
That's
to work
right.
again, right?
Yeah, because I can't tell you, this is the one thing that breaks my heart almost every time. Somebody has been in career transition for 6 months,
Yep.
and they finally find out about us. And the words that just hurt so bad are, I wish I would have known about you 6 months ago.
Yeah.
When an employer is laying off, at least tell them about us.
Right.
So that those people can feel hope day one.
Day one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, everyone thinks about the other side of that equation, but the start of it is that day where you lose that job and you get that pink notice.
You just need someone to tell you it's going to be okay, and we're here for you.
Yep.
And then give them those resources.
Yeah, that's great. So I bet you've heard some pretty amazing and have seen some pretty amazing stories over the years. Is there anything in particular that strikes you?
I always think of my friend Anthony. It's been a couple years, but he had been looking for a job for about 8 months. This was in the recession, 2008 and 9, and he was a supply chain guy, so professional guy, but never looked before. But he was committed to doing the job search his way, and so we were training him up, telling him to do all these other things, and he's like, "No, I'm good. I'm gonna get online. I'm gonna apply online." And so it took us working with him for a couple months till he finally came up to me one day and he goes, "Listen, I'm going to do it your way for the next month." And I'm like, okay.
Let's see what happens.
And he did. He hit up his networking list. He had coffee dates. He talked to people. He clarified what he was looking for. And within 2 weeks, it didn't even take a month. Within 2 weeks, he had 2 competing offers, better salaries than what he was making before.
Yeah.
And I just think of that story because I'm like, it's so powerful. If you're going to go to the doctor, if you're hurt, you're going to go to the doctor. They're the expert, right?
Yep.
If you're job searching, go to the experts.
Right.
The ones that know how to do this. I'm not going to build my house without an architect.
Yeah.
You know?
No, the other thing that I believe is, like, if you're looking for a job, make it a job looking for the job.
Yes.
Yes. Like every morning, get up at 7. I've got this
That's
to
right.
get accomplished by the end of the day in finding my job. Again, people just sit around and wait.
Yeah.
It's like nothing's going to come to you if you're sitting there waiting.
That's right.
For anything, whether it's
and
a
a
job
lot of times, people just don't even know what to do.
Right.
And that's why we're here.
That makes sense.
Not only give you hope, but give you tangible, actionable things you can go do.
Action plans.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. A lot of people don't know, do they?
No.
They have no idea.
If you've never looked for a job before.
Yeah.
If you were recruited out of college.
Yeah, and some people haven't looked for a job in 20 years.
No.
Even all of a sudden they're looking for a job.
They've been in corporate America in a job, and they've stayed with that company, and then all of a sudden, what? I don't have a job.
Heck?
I don't even know what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary.
It is.
Plus, it's the emotional side. You don't know how you're going to pay the bills. You don't know how you're going to do this, and you might have debt.
Yeah.
And
there's a connection to our work. A lot of times we'll value who we are because of our work, and what we do and what we accomplish, and that's unfortunate, but it's true.
Right.
And especially men, even more so, will value themselves based on their work.
Right.
And so we want to be that soft place to land. We want you to come because you're valuable regardless of your job.
Yeah.
But also we want to show you how to do the push-ups, how to get the job.
That's exactly right. No, I think there's so much that I learned going through that period of time in my life when I lost my job, and I mean, it was many, many years ago, but that's how I found the job that I ended up, really becoming into this career. And at that point, I remember, it was 82.
Wow. Yeah.
And there wasn't much work.
Yeah.
It was interest rates were 18%.
Wow.
And when I got the opportunity to apply for that job, I just basically said, look, I will work for free. You guys pay me whatever you want to pay me. This is the job I want.
Wow.
And of course they hired me. They paid me. I think I've made $5.65 an hour. but that didn't last too long. But, sometimes you do. Sometimes you just have to put yourself out there. And if you find something that you're really passionate about, just get your foot in the door sometimes, right?
Yeah, I mean, I worked for free for 5 years with this running Career Connectors. And so, yes, you figure out what you're really excited about and go find it.
Yeah, and things change fast.
Yes.
Another question I had is, when people lose their jobs, do you guys get into helping them deal with debt and deal with some of the emotion that goes with this?
That's a great question. We don't, except we have resources for them.
Okay. You can connect them with people.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. So that's a big part of it.
It is. It's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
And
because I think you're right. I think a lot of, like you said, especially men. I think a lot of men connect themselves with their job. I mean, their job is who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And when they lose that job, a lot of them lose who they are. That's in essence. They're like, who am I?
Yeah.
This job defined me.
I'm hoping that one of the things that this COVID thing does, is helps people reset money. Because I know it did for many people in 2008 and 9.
Yeah.
We got hammered.
Yeah.
And I would never buy a house that was too much for us to own again. Never.
Right.
I mean, we will never go down that path again. And I'm hoping that people that are struggling right now with debt or with...
Learn from this.
Learn, because never, ever should we be in a place where we are living above our means.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah. And it's a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
And
you're totally helpless.
Yes, that's right.
Exactly. So, well, I think you're doing a great job with this. This is, for me, I know who I'm calling next time we're looking, which I'm looking, so I'll be calling you tomorrow. This is fantastic. And so I really commend you for what you've done and the passion you've put into this.
Thank you.
I can see what you're doing. I can see it on your face. I can feel your energy when you walked into this room. It's really great to see that. And
Thanks.
I think anyone that's looking for a job, I really highly recommend they get in contact with you and your group and go from there.
Well, I'm happy to be out of the house seeing people face to face.
Yeah.
So
good for you.
Someday we'll all be able to network again.
I know. So you're doing a lot of stuff by Zoom or things like that?
Oh, yes, all day long.
Webinars and things like that?
Yes, we have webinars. We have one Wednesday, which is tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow,
yeah. We're having
we all lose track of what day it is.
So we have them a couple times a month. And, I love those days because I get to engage with like 150 people online. So it's really fun.
So you have people that help you run this whole thing?
Yep.
You don't do it all by yourself.
No, I moderate and introduce and network and engage. But we have people that help, and we're chatting like crazy online and engaging with everyone there.
Great job. Well, thank you so much, Jessica. This has been wonderful. How do we find you online? And
careerconnectors.org. I also use LinkedIn a lot, so Jessica Pierce on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And so those are two great ways to find me.
Okay, so I got another quick question. I keep trying to get into LinkedIn.
Okay.
And getting, I'm big on Instagram, big on Facebook. It's so visual.
Yeah.
But I know LinkedIn's pretty visual too.
Yeah, LinkedIn is such an important tool, especially if you're looking for a job or if you have a job or you're a business owner.
Right.
Like, you need to be on LinkedIn. It's the #1 networking tool for professionals.
Yeah.
So I even, college kids, tell them, get on LinkedIn. And the difference on LinkedIn is people can't post on any of your stuff.
Oh, I see.
So they can maybe do a comment here or there, but that's the one place where your professional face is. And if somebody searches up your name, the power of the search engine marketing with LinkedIn is so strong, it will be the first thing to come up.
Yeah.
So I tell people that are, they maybe have some stuff online that they don't like, they haven't been able to get rid of. If they have a strong LinkedIn URL or profile, that will be the first thing to pop up.
Yeah, and part of it, it's just like marketing in general. Create the persona, create the
what's your brand?
Yeah, create your brand.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do it. Create where you want to go.
That's
create where you want to be, and all of a sudden, people just you just mold yourself right into that person.
That's right. If you start doing something differently, people are going to see who you are now. And so, especially people learning a new trade or learning a new industry, start talking about that, posting articles about that industry. You don't have to be an expert in it yet.
No, and I think like I said with the trades, I think there are a lot of opportunities where you could just go and say, hey, I want to learn how to do furniture finishing. And those guys will go, are you serious? Come on over. I'll start teaching you.
Heck, yes.
And then right away they'll go, hey, you're good at this. Like, how much can I pay you? I want you to be a part of my team. And
that's right.
But, I think it's, again, just get your foot in that darn door. And all of a sudden, there's a lot of opportunities that are just waiting around the corner for a lot of people, I think.
Absolutely. The jobs are out there, and you can either create your job or go find a job right now.
Okay, so give us your link again.
Careerconnectors.org
is
our website, and then we're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn also.
Awesome. Well, great job.
Yeah.
I think that's how I found you.
Oh, good.
Right?
Yes.
I think so. Or you found me. It was one of the
Yep.
two. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks
This is
for
great.
having me.
Very, very positive. It's great to hear that there's so many opportunities out there for so many people.
They are.
Thank you so much. I want to say a big thank you to my good friends at Stockett Tile and Granite Company, where your project is our priority. I want to thank the Stockett team along with so many others who contributed to the success of our fabulous demonstration kitchen in our new Candelaria design office expansion. You will have to check out our online video cooking classes, and our kitchen is amazing. I've had the pleasure of working with the Stockett team for nearly 40 years on many spectacular projects, and trust me, they are the epitome of excellence when it comes to tile, marble, and granite work, bar none. Their skill in customer service is impeccable, and the bottom line is they are just good people. I have traveled with, dined with, and just had good times, both personally and professionally, with Dave Stockett and his lovely wife, Becky, and they are the best. When it comes to your next tile and stone project, make sure Stockett Tile and Granite is a part of your team. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed our podcast. We encourage you to write a review, screenshot it, and share it with your friends. Please instant message it to me and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We thank you for listening, and we look forward to sharing more insights to inspiring living next week.